what makes me so sad and makes me so passionate is that I feel like y'all don't know that. Like, you don't know that you weren't called to just be this ordinary person, just to go to college or just to do whatever you want to do. Like, that's what makes me so sad, is that most of us, like, even as adults, like, we forget that we have we have a much greater purpose than that. Like, I see all these people going through life and I'm like, okay, well, I like my job, or like, I'm happy, I guess. Like, this is fine. I just remember thinking, there's something inside of me that wants so much more than that. We settle to be average because we believe it's the best we're gonna get. In fact, this is the problem, or this is the real problem. It isn't that y'all hope for too much. It's not that you think that you have all these dreams and you never get it. No, that's not the problem. The problem is that you all settle for too little. You don't drink for too much. You settle for too little. Man, but if y'all could only see what God sees, if you could only see beyond your fears or beyond this average life that you could live, like if you could just get out of that little box and just get in God's mind for one day, gosh, I'm sure you would look at Christian or at Sifa and be like, man, I have all these plans for you. Like, you're thinking right here, and like your biggest hope, your biggest dream is right here. He's trying to take it to level 11. But I feel like if y'all could just see what God has for you, you wouldn't be impressed with how many likes you get on Instagram, or if you're some guy's woman crush every day, or some girls man crush Wednesday, like whatever. You wouldn't care. If you could see like beyond all this superficial, temporary things, I feel like you wouldn't even care about it, because God has called you to so much higher. And I just think, or I know, that you were commissioned by God to be greater, to do mind-blowing things that you could never imagine. Okay, so like y'all looking at me like, all right, Tiara, cool, I'm gonna be great. Okay, so what? Like, what are you really trying to say? I'm trying to say that there's something holding you back. Like, I could say like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be great, you're gonna be a good person, like this is how you do it, X, Y, and Z. But that won't do it for you. Because what's holding you back is really you, and your faith, and your fears. So, we oftentimes forget that God is God, and we are not. We oftentimes forget that we're not in control, that our life, that this life that we're living, we can't plan out every detail. I mean, I try to plan out every detail of my life, and it fails every time. Like, every time. So, I read this story the other day, and it was about this guy. Let me tell you about this guy. He's my favorite guy to read about. I love reading about him. So, he's a murderer. He killed a guy, he ran away to a desert, and then he just became a sheep herder. He's like, man, I can't go back there. Man, I killed a guy, and everybody knows I killed him, so I can't go back. So he went to the desert, he married this foreign woman, he got accustomed to her family, he just became a sheep herder. Okay, average, a sheep herder, that's it. Yeah, before this guy was like living in the king's palace. He was royalty. And he killed a guy, and he ran away. And now he's average. But, just like y'all, God called him to so much more. And just like what we do, he was really scared. So, a lot of you guys have heard this story, but I'm going to read it again because it's my favorite story. So, in Exodus 3, verse 11, this is talking about Moses. And God, right before this, like Moses sees this burning bush. He's like, man, what is this? I'm gonna go check this out. Like, just like in a scary movie, when you hear knocking on the door and people go check it out, Moses went to go check it out. And God starts saying to him, man, Moses, look, I got this plan for you. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do this, you're gonna free hundreds and thousands of people. You're gonna free all these people that talk bad about you. You're gonna free them. And I'm gonna help you do that. Moses is like, no. Verse 11 says, but Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? Who are you to be great? Who are you to be extraordinary? Who are you to dream? Who are you to actually live? But God says, but I will be with you. You're right. I feel like in this verse, he kind of talks to me. I'm like, God, who am I to go on a full-time ministry? Like, Lord, if you knew my life, like if you know how I was in high school, like I was a hot mess. Like if y'all didn't, but if y'all knew, if we had like Facebook, we had MySpace back in my day, but if we had like Facebook and all that, like I was a hot mess. keep asking him, like, who am I to talk to people and hang out with kids that don't play all the time and tell them about the Lord? Who am I to do that? And God says, but I will be with you. I am calling you to do greater than you could ever imagine. I am calling you to do all these great works. And what's so cool about that? Like, a lot of people, I feel like we settle for average because we're like, man, like, I'm not a leader like this person, or like, I can't do great things like this person, or I'm not as pretty as her, I'm not as skinny as her, or I don't dress like her, or whatever. Like, we say all these things to God, just like Moses was like, God, I can't do this. Moses also said later on, but God, I have a stutter. I can't even talk. How am I supposed to talk to the king, and I have a stutter? And God's like, hey, I already handled all that. Like, I got you. You're going to be great, not because, like, you're already great, because I'm with you. Because the God of the universe that created mountains and the oceans and everything, he's going to be with us. So I feel like a lot of times we're just scared. So Moses eventually goes on, and he does all these great things, and the Lord does it through him. He frees the Israelites with God. All these great things are happening. And now we remember him. He's in the Bible. But what if Moses would have said, nah, I'm scared. Or, I don't want to do that. Or, nah, I can't, God, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to save these people, so I'm not going to do it. What would have happened? A, God may have raised up another person. Or B, these Israelites would have still been in captivity. And for sure, we wouldn't know who Moses is. We wouldn't know that he parted the Red Sea. Like, we wouldn't know nothing about that. So what if I call Kayla out and say, nah, Kayla, you're going to do all these great things. You can do it. I promise you. You're going to do this, 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 this. And she and all her friends are going to be like, or not. Like, we're not. I can't do that. I can't do that, Tiara. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. But all these things you're saying about me are great, but I don't believe that I can do it. And more importantly, I don't believe that God can do that for me. But if God can use Moses, a murderer, a guy who was scared, a guy who didn't even really believe in himself, why can't he use you? Moses became extraordinary simply by trusting that his Lord would take care of everything. And he did. God took care of everything. Okay, so what about you? You heard Moses' story. You probably read it before. You've probably seen the movie The Prince of Egypt. But what about y'all? I see it, man. Like, you're all yearning for something more. Like, you're yearning for something more than you have right now. Something greater than. But fear entraps us, keeping us like away from the Lord. Like, fear, I feel like I was enslaved to fear for so long, y'all. Like, I went into college and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this and this. And like, I applied to the honors college at USC and I didn't get it. And then I applied to like these two business fraternities at USC twice, didn't get it. And I was like, all right, God, I suck.